Well, another just a terrific ball game for the fans. If they were here, they would have gone crazy. I hope at home they went crazy again, and it's got to keep hanging with us. Ain't over till it's over. Another incredible showing by the offense. I just thought they did a fantastic job today. Russ has just been so sharp and able to maintain his poise throughout, with some rush today. This is a good rushing crew, and he found his receivers. He made some plays, made some great throws, and the receivers came through. Tyler Lockett had just a career game today, just catching touchdown passes everywhere. And I think that under the circumstances of all of what happened on the sidelines, with our guys getting banged up, and we just kept hanging, and guys kept going in, and we were down to our last guys, and guys came off the practice squad to make big contributions today, and it was a really good team win. We've got areas all over the place that we got to get better at. We got a lot of work to do on our pass defense. It continues to be a problem. The third down thing is not good enough, and we got to finish our sacks again. But what did happen is some really big plays today on defense, and some guys really made some spectacular things happen. Monet and Puna on the 2-point safety, huge push at the line of scrimmage to make that all happen. A great pick by Shaq early on. Just some really cool stuff happening. Guys giving efforts and fighting and scratching to get it done. So we just got to get better. We're grateful to be 3-0, and realize that not very many teams get to do that right now. So we're going to just try to keep pecking away at it. Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
Jackie Montgomery.
Hey, Coach, you touched on it. Both Russell Wilson getting second straight game with 5 touchdown passes. Just what continues to click for him this season?
He's a great player. You know, he's a great player. He's got extremely qualified guys catching the ball. Greg had some big plays, and DK had huge plays, 100 and something yards today. And Tyler, you know, he's just got really good football players to work with, and he trusts them. He believes in them. He knows the system. He's taking advantage of, you know, a whole array of things that we're doing, all different kinds of styles of throws and movements and all that. He's just on it. You know, this is just, you're watching a great football player do what he does best, and I'm just really excited about what happens next time we go out.
AJ McCord.
Coach, 2-part question for you. So the first is, what can you say about the defensive guys in particular who stepped up today when they were called on? Shaquem, Alton Robinson, Ryan Neal. Just what can you say about their ability to step up?
Yeah, I was really excited about that, and the guys were really excited in the locker room too, to see those guys, you know, get in the ball game and not just get out there, but to do something, you know. And Shaquem did some really cool things down the stretch in coverage and pressuring. You know, Alton, it's great to get him all that play time. DeMontre Moore was out there digging and clawing and scratching. Jaron Reed had some really nice big plays today, you know, knocking around, forcing some issues that happened on the pass rush. You know, and Ugo continues to make things happen, you know, really excited about what he's doing. He jumps into a position that we were really concerned about because Marquise was such a beautiful player in the system, but he's really stepped up and been very, very active. There's a great interception by Shaquille today. He had a bunch of tackles too, so yeah, we're just thrilled that those guys were able to do that.
So the follow-up to that is last week, obviously there were a lot of injuries, not just for you guys, but around the NFL. Did you change anything in practice with the depth chart, maybe making sure more guys down the depth chart got reps with the first team in case this happened?
We're very cognizant of each guy's situation, individual situation, you know, and how they endured the game and how they responded and recovered in the next week. And, you know, we did stuff all across the board, anticipating that this is a big burden for them right now. It's a big burden to be playing these football games. We had a lot of guys get banged today. There's a whole slew of guys that something happened one way or another. It's really obvious, it seems. I don't, you know, this is subjective totally, but it seems like it's really a challenge for the players to make it through in these early weeks of the season. And so we just have to take it one day at a time and one particular player at a time and give them the treatment they need, try to figure it out and help them. And also, of course, like as you're talking about, anticipation of what could happen. You know, John's working day and night to try and stay ahead of it.
John Boyle.
Coach, what for DK Metcalf to come back from having the fumble to catching the game winners? What does that show you about? He did that kind of week 1 with the drop and then the touchdown. The way he can bounce back from adversity.
Yeah, he's rock solid. I mean, it's such a hard lesson for him, you know, to have a guy knock a ball out of his hands on just an exquisite play, you know, just throw and catch and execution, everything, protection, the whole thing was gorgeous, and then we give them the football. I mean, that's just a terrible play for us to have to endure, but the lesson learned will help everybody, and fortunately we overcame it, and it didn't, you know, wreck the game for us, but that's it's a terrible play. It really is, because he's got a touchdown, just finished it off, and he started celebrating too early. We celebrate in the paint is what we talk about. This is something we talk about all the time, and so it really hurt that you know, we weren't able to execute there. But the fact that he came back, of course he did. I mean, he's such a great competitor. He's not going to let something like that hold him down. He's pissed, just like everybody else, and you know, but he bounced right back in the end. There he was, available for the game winner, and made the play.
Curtis Crabtree.
Pete, you mentioned the guys that are dinged up. Can you kind of give us a rundown of where you're at? Carson, Lewis, Jordan, Jamal, etc.
Yeah, unfortunately, even before the game happened, you know, Quentin Dunbar's knee acted up and he wasn't able to go, and Nico's hip didn't make it through the week and he couldn't go, and Leno Hill, you know, his back situation that just showed up yesterday, we weren't sure what was going on with that one, but he couldn't go either. All those guys fell out before we even started the game, you know, so we were scrambling to get our guys up on the roster. Damien Lewis has an ankle sprain. X-rays were negative. A regular I think it's a lateral ankle sprain. Jamal Adams got a groin strain. Don't know about what's going to happen with that. It's pretty tight. Chris got his knee twisted at the end of a play. And I don't know about that, but he did, you know, he's got a sprained knee to some extent. Jordan Brooks had a knee sprain also earlier in the game. Guys rolled up on him. Postic had a knee issue that he finished the game with. I don't know how he did that, but he did. Mike Upati had a knee situation also that he finished the game with. So that's a lot of stuff, you know, that we're not used to seeing all those names in coming out of one game. And, you know, it's hard to say, you know, you might, for everybody's talking about, you know, the injuries and all that, you know, you would think it would be muscles and strains and that kind of stuff would be more what you'd be seeing, but we're seeing a different variety of things. You know, this is ankle sprain, knee. There's 5 of them, you know, so I don't know what to tell you, but we're researching it and trying to figure it out for sure, and trying to make sense of it. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The thing about Leno told us today that he had a problem, and we didn't know it at all. And he woke up with it, and it was a real surprise. He had X-rays and stuff like that today to try to figure out what was going on, and he just couldn't go. So we had no information about that leading into that. I'm sorry about that, if I didn't say that right.
Tim Booth.
Pete, I understand you haven't seen the film yet, but what stands out as the deficiencies in pass coverage right now that are allowing for all these yards?
Well, we got beat deep right over the top for, I don't know, 80 of them, you know, or 90 of them. Those are just regular getting beat deep. Same guy, you know, great execution by them, and they won it. But there's just stuff. It's just too loose, and it's working together with rush, with coverage to make our plays. And we gave up 60 yards a game rushing again. Then, you know, Zeke had averaged 2 yards a carry, you know, and had 20 yards rushing today or whatever it was. Those things are working. You know, we're playing the running game really well, and there's not a big opportunity to give them the run so that you can stop the pass, like you might think. But we just have to do a lot better.
Brady.
I'm sorry, Pete. What'd you see out of Alton Robinson? He had the big sack late there.
What about it? What about him?
Just the game that Alton Robinson had in his debut.
Just a good, tough game. You know, I can't tell you much about all the little things that happened there. You know, he was in the mess of it, but it was a good, aggressive game for him. He really pushed the pocket late. He really was competing hard late in the game and helped us out to finish the thing off. Just showed his competitiveness. So really excited that he just got to play and got in there, you know, and to do something. So it's good.
Greg Bell.
Pete, do you have the horses in-house on defense to make the changes you need, or do you think you have to have somebody from outside come in and bolster them?
Well, we'll figure it out, Craig. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that right now. We're always looking. We're always looking, and I really feel like we can get a lot better. We have to get a lot cleaner with what we're doing, and he threw 57 times today, you know, and that's a lot of passes in one game. But this is kind of what the thing's been like the first 3 weeks. Wins. You know, if you don't run the football, it's really hard to win. And so sometimes it takes a little bit more. You got to live with a little bit of it. Wins.
Thank you.
Bob Condota.
Yeah, Pete, Russell's amazing ability to just keep doing this. I mean, when you guys get the ball back, it's 31-30, they've scored and all that. It was just kind of more of the same from Russell, seeing it from him, or, going to do the fourth down.
I hardly even talked about, I don't know if we mentioned the last drive, we went, ripping down the field, 65 yards, whatever it was, and 4-something left. It just perfectly executed. We scored too fast. Great play by Greg in there on fourth down, great come through on fourth down. But we're so accustomed to it, we absolutely are just anticipating that we're going to go score. And Russ and I, there was a moment in there we said, field goal wins it. And then we looked at each other and said, we're going for a touchdown. And it was really cool to see him compete again like he does. He was so chilled. He was so perfectly poised and composed to pull that together. You couldn't ask for a guy that could be better mentally in those situations than Russell is.
Art Teal.
You mentioned all the new guys, the reserves, and some of the practice team guys that contributed. What was it like on that last drive in terms of the sideline management between you and Ken Norton to try to make sure you got the right people in the right place?
We changed things on the last drive. We needed to, and I thought Ken adjusted well, and we knew the situation. We were watching the clock. We had the timeouts. We had the whole thing going. Everything was there, and we kept them underneath us and waited it out, knowing they had to score a touchdown because of our previous drive. And eventually they got to throw the ball in the end zone, and they did, and Ryan Neal ate one up for us. And so Shaquem had a really good drive. I don't know if you noticed, but he had a really good drive, being really active in there to come through and make some things happen. And we adjusted something there on the fly there to make sure that he could help out, and worked out well.
Joe Fan.
He did 2 different touchdown drives, 75-plus yards that took less than a minute. Is it as simple as, with those explosives, is it busts or is it just guys getting beat? How would you break those down?
We got beat deep on the 2 go balls, first, you can't be any more explicit than what happened there. The one-on-ones, and he threw them up, and they won them. There's the crossing route. I suggested a call, and it didn't fit the situation. It didn't work out well, and got a bundle on us. So it's just, we're trying hard, and sometimes you can try too hard, and you can try to force things, and because we get frustrated, we want to get out of there and get off the field too. And so we have to find the right balance there with the way things are going to play better. I'm not going to spend, I know this is exactly what you guys need to be asking. I'm not spending a long time on these things right now. Okay, go. What's next?
Last one for Coach, Matt Calkins.
I don't need to get out of here. Just going on to the next issues.
Hey, Coach, you guys kind of built a reputation for yourselves last year, winning close games, pulling it out in the fourth quarter. 2 games now, you've done the same thing. Big stop last week, big drive and stop this week. What do you think it is about this team, their mentality that's kind of allowing them to pull out the close ones like this?
There is definitely a mentality about it. If you guys go back and look at probably the last time we started 3-0 and look at that season and look at all the games that were just like these games, it's so hard to win these football games. It's so hard to be ahead at the end of the game that you're probably looking at 6 or 7 more games like this if we're going to win a lot of games this year that are going to be just right down to the wire. Maybe it's more than that. I think last year, didn't we have the most close wins in the history of the NFL or something like that? We had 11 or something like that. It's just the way it is. And what's great about our club in that situation is the mentality. And it starts with me, but it filters right through to all of the coaches and the players. And fortunately, Russell's on our team, and Russell's brain just will not accept anything but coming through and finishing a win and finding a way to do that. And I think it's It's all in there, you know, it's kind of almost embedded in us now that we just keep on hanging and keep, you know, clawing and scratching and trying to do things right longer than the other guys and finish these games. And you know, like I know it's terrible for the fans. They're all, you know, tearing their hair out and all that. But, you know, I always tell you, man, you got to suck it up. This is the way it is. And this is the way we do it. And I know this sounds kind of sick, but I kind of like it like that. And so we're ready for those situations, and we're mentally prepared for that to happen so that when it does, it ain't no big deal. We just go out and do things right and try to win it.
Thank you.
See ya.